the rich second-generation man took out his phone. On it was a video of the girl taking a shower. Faced with his shameless threat, the girl had no choice but to compromise. But her unusual emotions were still noticed by her mother. When the rich young man showed up, the mother also arrived at the warehouse. But the man remained calm, showing the video on his phone. To protect her daughter, the mother knelt on the ground, begging him. Hearing his outrageous demands, the girl picked up a stick to knock the phone out of his hand, but accidentally struck his head instead. The mother discovered that the man was no longer breathing. Panicked, they buried the body in the yard. However, the younger daughter saw everything. When the father came home from work, he saw the disturbed soil and his frightened family. He knew something serious had happened. Looking at the yard, the man fell into deep thought. But as a film projectionist who had watched tens of thousands of movies, he decided to carry out the perfect crime to protect his family. First, he needed to clean the scene. Seeing the phone card on the ground, he remembered scenes of tracking in films, so he wrapped the fragments in paper and found the car the rich man had left behind. But when he opened the car door, the alarm was triggered. A corrupt cop on patrol heard the noise and just happened to see what he was doing. To destroy the evidence, the man drove for a long time to a cell phone store, asked the owner to install the SIM card, wiped off the fingerprints, and threw it onto a garbage truck. Finally, he arrived at a lakeside and pushed the car into the lake. A girl accidentally killed a rich second-generation heir. To protect his family, her father decided to carry out the perfect crime. First, he cleaned up the crime scene, then took the SIM card from the phone, wiped off the fingerprints, and threw the phone onto a freight truck. Next, he went to a remote lakeside and destroyed the heir's car. After that, he took his family on a trip. They attended a master's lecture, checked into a hotel, went to a restaurant for dinner, and watched a movie at night. When they returned home, the father told them to remember, don't panic when facing the police, and make sure to say they never saw the heir, as the heir hadn't returned home for a long time. His mother, a police chief, became very anxious. She ordered someone to track her son's phone signal, but nothing was found. Soon, the heir's damaged car was discovered. Seeing the wreckage, the woman knew her son was likely in grave danger. The police began investigating. At that moment, one officer suddenly remembered seeing that same car during a patrol. He secretly started an investigation, casually bringing up the heir's car in conversation. The man took the bait. The officer knew he'd guessed right. He immediately reported it to his superior. The police quickly located the family, but the man remained perfectly calm. He said they had gone on a trip on the 2nd and 3rd, and even provided all the receipts. The police had no choice but to inform the woman. However, she clearly didn't believe it. She summoned everyone to the scene, but everyone gave consistent testimony for the man. The whole family had indeed been traveling. Even the bus driver testified that the man hadn't had cash on the 3rd and went to withdraw money from an ATM. The woman immediately checked the surveillance footage, and sure enough, she saw the man. Even her husband started to believe the man was innocent. But suddenly, the woman realized the truth. This family clearly committed a murder. But the next day, they went on a trip, attended a spiritual lecture by a master, stayed at a luxury hotel, went to a restaurant the following day for a meal, watched a movie that night, then returned home as if nothing had happened. But once the car was discovered, the police began investigating them. However, everyone confirmed that the man and his family had attended the lecture on the 2nd. Even the hotel registry had their names recorded. The restaurant owner also testified that the man dined there on the 3rd, and he was accompanied by a cute little girl, which made the impression very vivid in the owner's memory. Even the projectionist remembered the man, but the woman still didn't believe it, so she went to find the bus ticket seller. The seller said that the man didn't have money on the 3rd, and even went to the ATM to withdraw some. But the woman noticed something strange. These people's memories were too clear. After checking the ATM surveillance footage, the woman became even more convinced of her suspicion. On the 3rd, the man drove into the city, bought food at the restaurant, and asked for a receipt. Then he bought a movie ticket, checked the show time, went to withdraw money from the ATM, and purchased a return ticket home. Then, on the 4th, he took the bus back into the city, sat at the lecture venue all day. When the staff walked away, he signed his name in the registry, then went to eat at the restaurant, and chatted with the owner. The whole family went to the cinema, and talked with the projectionist. When it was time to go home, the man claimed he was going to withdraw money, but he never went in. In this way, the man shifted everything that happened on the 4th and 5th, onto the 2nd and 3rd. Even though the woman figured it all out, she had no evidence, so she arrested the entire family, preparing to force a confession through torture.